Today on Blueprint, it's all about prop firms and putting together the best set of free TradingView indicators to get our scalping done on today's Blueprint. Welcome, everybody, to Blueprint here at Traders Post. I'm Tom Hartman, your friendly neighborhood strategy coder, joined as always by my plucky marketing cohort, Peter Hartman, repping the Traders Post crew. And yes, we're back doing what we do best, turning indicators into strategies. Why? Because I have joined the Price Action Live crew with Mike and Trevor, me specifically on Thursdays, but that's airing every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where they prop firm trade live. And I started prop firm trading myself, and it turns out I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at the short-term trading. And so what better than Blueprint in order to scour the web in order to find what are the best indicators to put together for the 1 minute to 15-minute time frame to see if I can help myself dig myself out of the hole. Because if I lose my prop firm account, Peter, I'm going to have to buy another and another and another and another and another. And I love to keep my fees down to about $100,000 before I start getting a payout. If I can do that, I'll really be beating past Tom. After looking online, I did see that there was this video from a Trade Algorithm, the Trade Algorithm YouTube channel, and it was titled 5 New Most Accurate Trading Indicators for 2025. And I love that clickbait. I love a good heading, a good title. I checked it out. It was all kinds of cute and interesting indicators. And by cute, I mean like it's like designed nicely. I'll take indicators of like they're designed nicely. Sort of like a Mac app. Like I'll take apps on the Mac because it's like they look nice, even though they might not be as functional as you know what I'm talking about. And so we're gonna go through these indicators. We're gonna see. Hey, let's do it old school. We're gonna put them together. We're gonna see if we can develop a strategy out of it. And like my goal is to finish this video with like, let's call it a 90% success rate on the strategy with outlandish profits and maybe up to 6 trades during any given session. Let's see what we can do there, because I think that might be fun. Peter, you also want to get into the prop firm trading biz. That's the goal. I'll know I've been successful if I've gotten a strategy put together and it says 90. I'm joking about 90% success rate. I don't really care so much about that. I just care that the trades are consistent and that they happen at least 1 to 6 per trading session. This is going to be on a NASDAQ, on MNQ, on, let's say, the 5-minute. Should be fun. Either like, I want scalps or I catch the trend for that day. I don't care how I make my money. I just care that I make money on it. Can't hear Peter.
Oh, sorry. My microphone is muted the whole time. Well, thank you, Aventura Trader. Your biggest fan is here. Thanks to a slow week at work. Well, I'm glad you had a slow week at work, and I'm happy you're here because I would have gone the whole show without even realizing you can't hear me. Thank you.
So don't worry. Everything that Peter said was boring, not important. All that really matters is that the peer pressure here at Traders Post has gotten to him. Peter has to edit the content for Traders Post, so he has to watch the things 2, 3, 4 times. And Peter doesn't give in to peer pressure. Peter has never asked me about trading or anything like that. And you've worked for Traders Post now for how long? Since what? Last September?
I don't know. I don't know. Time for me doesn't exist.
never once have you asked about trading, and
That's
after
not true.
4 videos, well, not to prop firm trade or anything like what you're talking about, and after watching 4 back-to-back trading bot sessions videos with Mike, which you go check out on the Traders Pulse YouTube channel, and watching the live trading, he just can't handle it anymore. He's like, okay, maybe I'll give this a shot. Okay, let's.
Well, I really like the idea that prop firm trading, you're not trading your own money, and that's the whole thing with me and trading. It's like it's your own money. Here, it's like a entertainment fee. You know, I pay my $50, my $100 for the account. That's like, you know, going for dinner or something, going to a movie and a show or something, and then I can just trade. So that sounds like fun to me. Look, I'm the type of guy. I'll go to the casino with $10, and I'll go play the slot machines. I will lose $5 and I will leave with my other $5. I hate it here. I hate it.
Well, we'll see what the slippery slope is like, because there's a bunch of people who they start off with one prop firm account. Next thing you know, they're at 10, 20 accounts. They're paying $1,000 or plus per month, and they're just doubling down. Well, because once they get their payout, if their payout, Trevor was talking about it today. Once you get your payout from that account, and that account is paid for and made a profit, then everything else that happens in that account doesn't really matter because you paid for it.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm playing with house money, then I'll play. If I go to the casino, I put in my $10 and then I make 20. I'm balling, man. I'm gonna go machine after machine. Don't even care. Actually, that's not true. I still want to leave with that 20.
And the thing with the Traders Pulse is that you're able to connect all your prop firm accounts together.
Yeah,
like that's the big thing.
Do most prop firm traders know about that?
Well, if you're on Traders Pulse, absolutely. If you're not, you better register for your free account and check that out, because I know people who were opening up different tabs for their prop firm accounts to go and copy their trades again and again and again and again inside.
Wow.
Or trading different ways in different ones, and then letting some of them be fallow, some of them are being plowed. But with Traders Pulse, you can connect them all together, and then the same trade executes across them all. So then when I hear stuff like Mike, he's like, I made a $200 trade. I was like, okay, $200, there's nothing to write home about. Why are you trying to rub that into my face? He goes, no, that's across 20 plus accounts. Excuse me? Record scratch? What? What are you telling me right now?
Mike never rubs anything in your face. Mike is the opposite of rubbing anything in your face. You feel that way.
I tell him not to tell me. He tells me anyway, so I don't know. All right, let's cut to the trade algorithm video here on YouTube, and let's take a look at it before we jump into putting it together.
In 2025's volatile markets, using outdated indicators means you're essentially trading blind.
Right, forgive me. I'm always on 2x speed. I always forget that everyone else.
That was pretty fast. But let's just for the sake of the sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
For the sake of the edit, just reiterate, what are we doing? Why are we watching this?
We're taking a look at the trade algorithm video here posted on their channel. This was posted 4 months ago, 89,000 views. It's titled 5 New Most Accurate Trading Indicators for 2025. And so the idea here is that they're saying, hey, these indicators are giving great signals, and they're a proponent of a confluence of signals. So use a few of them together or all of them together in order to generate buy and sell signals, in order to have more confidence inside of the trade that you're taking. The reason I want to do this is that I want to see how this works on a shorter time frame. I'm normally used to trading longer time frames, like days, weeks to months. If I hold a trade for 6 months, that's totally normal for me. But in prop firm trading, you're trading for that day because your positions are being closed that night. And so I want to see, is it possible to create a strategy from these indicators that are available for free on TradingView, put them together in such a way that they give me reliable signals that I could put real money behind on an intraday basis.
Volatile markets, using outdated indicators means you're essentially trading blindfolded, while institutional traders see every move before it happens. And after personally testing over 1,000 indicators across every major market condition for nearly a decade, in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 most accurate trading indicators you need in 2025. In fact, one of them is so powerful that almost no one knows about it yet. The first indicator on our list is the the trend reversal probability indicator. To add it to your chart, simply head over to TradingView and click the indicator tab. Search for trend reversal probability and select the one by Algo Alpha. Now, what makes this indicator so powerful? It's the ability to calculate the exact statistics.
Okay, that's one pretty indicator. I gotta say,
nice.
that's a nice little indicator
You should
there
make
with the
something that looks
ombre.
like that.
Yeah, and the different standard deviation levels. This I can mess with.
Probability of a trend reversal. First, you've got the trend duration histogram, green bars for uptrends, red bars for downtrends. But the real game changer is the standard deviation levels. These horizontal lines show you exactly when a trend is statistically overextended. Look at this closely. You've got key probability zones at 14%, 50%, 84%, 98%, and 99%. When the histogram reaches these upper zones, you know the market has an extremely high probability of reversing. To make it even clearer, the indicator includes a reversal probability table that shows you the exact percentage chances of a reversal in real time. Here's how to use it. When the red histogram reaches the 99% level, it means the downtrend is statistically overextended with a high probability of reversing upward. Similarly, when the green histogram hits that 99% zone, the uptrend is likely ending. Wait for the histogram to shift color. That's your signal that the reversal is starting. The rule is simple. For high probability trades, only enter when the probability exceeds 90%. Anything less, and you're fighting the odds. But knowing the trend isn't enough. You need a tool to catch precise entry points with zero lag. Which brings us to our second indicator, zero lag trend signals. To add it to your chart, simply go back to TradingView and search for zero lag trend signals. Make sure you select the one by Algo Alpha. Here's why this indicator is different from anything else on TradingView. Most entry indicators out there suffer from one fatal flaw, lag. They only signal after a move has already started.
This zero lag type of indicator, there's actually several different zero lag indicators. Has been pretty interesting. This idea that you the signal comes too late, and so who cares about an indicator like that if you already lost your money and it says, hey, by the way, 2 bars ago you're supposed to have closed out your position. I actually want to do one of the future Blueprint episodes about different types of algorithms you can choose, different types of ways you can process information in TradingView in order to generate zero lag signals in all kinds of different ways. So just pointing that out because we will be touching on that in the future.
Costing you valuable pips. Zero lag trend signals, on the other hand, use a proprietary algorithm that mathematically eliminates this lag, giving you signals right at the turning point. The indicator gives you 2 distinct types of entry signals. First are the major reversal signals. These big arrows appear at key trend change points, green for buy opportunities and red for sells. Second are the pullback signals. These smaller arrows appear during corrections in the main trend. They're perfect for adding to winning positions or getting in if you miss the initial move. Here's how to optimize it for different markets. For Forex,
all right, we're not going to take a look at the optimization. Let's just jump ahead to the next one.
Length explosive with I don't even have even and type now most indicate Volumetric Variable Index. Make sure you select the one by Big Beluga. Now most indicators just show you price movement, but this one shows you the actual buying and selling pressure behind every move. Let me show you what makes this indicator so special. You've got the Vidya line forming a trend cloud, green for bullish and red for bearish. But here's where it gets interesting. See this volume table right here? This is where the real magic happens. The buy volume for all the bullish candles is compared to the sell volume for all the bearish candles. Now, if you take the difference between the buy volume and the sell volume expressed as a percentage, you get what's called the delta volume. This number tells you exactly how strong the trend is. When delta volume goes above 30%, you've got a strong trend with real money behind it. And when it bumps over 50%, great. That's institutional traders making their move. But when it drops below 10%, even if price still looks strong, that's your warning sign that the trend's getting weak. The rule is simple. No matter what other indicators say, if delta volume's below 10%, stay out, period. Now, while validating your entries with strong volume is critical, volume without momentum is like a car with a full tank, but no engine, not going to get you anywhere. That's why you need to know if the market has enough directional strength to sustain the move, or you'll end up stuck in trades that go nowhere for days, which is why we need to add this momentum indicator, QQE mod, to our system.
I've heard about QQE ever since I got into trading. I hear it all the time. People don't explain to me exactly what it is or why they're using it. It just seems to be one of those indicators that I'm sure there's a good reason behind it, but it seems to be one of those indicators that people can easily read, and it feels like an RSI, feels like a MACD, feels like a thing, and so you can match it to any strategy. But I've yet to see 3 out of 5 strategies that I've seen and that I've worked on. People go, "Hey, have you heard of QQE mod?" Yeah, I've heard of QQE mod.
Simply head back over to TradingView and type in QQE mod. Make sure you select the one by Michael00. Now this isn't your regular RSI. No, this is better. While other momentum indicators lag behind, QQE mod catches shifts in momentum before price even starts to move. Let me show you what makes it so effective. You've got the colored histogram at the bottom, blue for bullish momentum and red for bearish. But that's not all. See this white signal line? When it crosses above 50, you know bullish momentum is building. And when it crosses below 50, you know bearish pressure is taking over. But it gets better. See those colored dots above and below the histogram? Those are your exact entry and exit signals. Blue dots mark the start of bullish momentum. Red dots mark the start of bearish pressure. And when you
All right, I know that we still have one indicator left, but isn't this exciting that we were able to put these guys together? It seems so certain that these things will be able to help us, and I'm so jazzed.
combine it with our previous indicators, your win rate goes through the roof. Let me walk you through the perfect setup for this. First, you want funded algo showing aligned timeframes. Second, you need a zero lag signal in the same direction. Third, check that the delta volume is above 30%
Hey, I'll come up with my own
with
thing,
our
thanks.
fifth and most powerful indicator, double MACD buy sell.
Double
Head over to
MACD.
TradingView and search for double MACD buy sell by Dread Blitz. Let me show you what makes this tool the final piece of our trading puzzle. You've got 2 MACD histograms working together. The white one with settings of 12 and 26 for catching bigger moves, and the yellow one at 5 and 15 for faster signals. In the settings, make sure to disable both signal lines and change the histograms to columns, white for the back and yellow for the front. The real power comes from how these two momentum indicators interact with each other. When both histograms cross above 0 together, that's your strongest buy signal. When
All right, we got our idea there. So we got our 5 indicators. That's fun. That's fun.
We're creating 5 indicators today.
No, they're already created. We're going to be putting them together in order to come up with the perfect prop firm trading strategy. I know I joke around a lot about people's indicators and strategies and stuff like that. One, I'm not trying to say that I'm amazing, even though when it comes to trading Bitcoin, I am pretty slick. Some say I'm a genius, but there's no specific measure that. But it's like fishing, right? To me, markets are like fishing, and there's you can have some high-tech fishing rod, you can be using gill nets, you can be throwing dynamite inside of the water, you can be spearing by hand, or you can try to catch it bear style, just really quickly out of the water. There's all kinds of different ways of going about it, but there's a certain level when someone has a certain type of skill, and they're able to like flick that bait across or lure across the water just the right way and fly fish in the air in order to get it. There's a certain skill to trading that that you get a feel for. And so I'm not trying to poo-poo these indicators. I know that matters. That said, it's not nearly as fun to praise an indicator as it is to poop all over it. All right, let's get to our part.
Just before you do that, we've got a message in chat here. A Ventura Trader says, after trying to do a recording myself, hey, you record? I want to see that. I'm amazed that you guys can stream and code at the same time while explaining everything. Look, I practice day and night, a Ventura Trader. I know I make it look easy, but it's very difficult. Tom's the one who does this. Yeah, I do find it impressive. I've heard Mike say that to Tom very, very often. It's pretty cool. And it's ballsy because, the amount of times Tom fails so publicly, it's admirable.
Right. By fail, you mean succeed in being transparent.
Yeah, sure.
So, just making sure. All right, let me just set up our stuff over here. We're not really going to be using AI much. We're going to do most of this by hand, but let's see how we can get through it. All right, so on this chart, I already have all 5 of the indicators there. So let's just split this.
Click hide at the bottom.
Let's just split this here. Oopie. 1 second. 1 second here.
Didn't realize me asking you click hide was going to erupt into chaos here.
Yeah, give me 1 second to...
I'll give you 1 second, and I'll remind everyone who's watching this right now, this isn't the first episode of Blueprint. There are other videos that you can check out. Not only that, there's an aftermarket show done here called After Hours. After Hours. It sounded kind of dirty there for a second. After Hours on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Tuesdays, there's Office Hours with the team here at Traders Pulse. I'll answer your questions, tell you what's coming down the pipeline. And they do price action live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where they trade live in prop firm accounts. This is a new show that just started. Very, very exciting. Very, very fun. So if you are here, I recommend you like and subscribe if this is your first time. And if you've been here a while, really appreciate you watching. We do this for the people.
That's right. Don't lie. I do it for myself. I want to be able to make money on my own. And it just so happens that if I help other people, it helps myself. But if that was not the case, I would not be doing it.
Okay, but Traders Pulse is trying to serve the community, try to serve their clients, all right? You might be an egotistical, self-centered, oriented mess, which we value and appreciate. You're very useful. Look, everybody needs an egotistic, semi-psychopath on their team.
Look, Traders Pulse is a tool, and I'm going to squeeze every piece of juice out of it in order to get what I want.
Okay.
I'm very grateful that
You're
they
mixing
exist.
metaphors. A tool, squeezing juice. Come on. do better, Tom. Do better.
All right. So let's go over here. We're setting up a strategy, a script here. Actually, let's just switch this to strategy. All right, so on the right side is what we are creating. On the left side are the indicators that we saw before. Since we have 2 indicators that are on the pane at the top and 3 that are at the bottom, and I do like to still see some visual elements on the screen, we have to decide here on how we want to separate it. So for the ones that are on the main chart over here, these 2 on the main chart, that's not a big problem. We are going to we're going to keep them on the chart, and we'll have toggles within we'll probably remove some of the visual elements, so we only have the elements that we want to pay attention to. For the 3 at the bottom in the pane, I think we're going to want to keep the MACD, the double MACD at the bottom, and we'll turn the Algo Alpha. Since Algo Alpha, what we really want is the reversal probability, and the QQE, we just need the value of the QQE at the time. I don't think that we need to necessarily see that on the chart. So we'll find some other way of displaying that so that it's accessible to us. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to generate signals on our chart that we can use in order to trade. So let's go ahead here and start with the Algo Alpha. Let's grab you. Click on the curly braces to grab the code. It is on version 5. All right, so we're on version 6 for these things. So you're going to see me do this thing where I'm going to create a working copy, and then I'm going to save this. And I want this to be a version 6 of PineScript. So once it's there, in the drop-down menu, I'll choose Convert Code to version 6. I want this so that all the code is all in the same version. I don't have to worry that there's features in one that are not in the other, because if you have to fix that once you've already combined them, it can be a real pain. All right, so since it's down here, let me go on this chart, click it over, click Add to Chart. I just want to make sure that it's the same signals at the same spots. I am missing some stuff here. Or am I? Nope, that's it.
Two
so
things.
Here yeah, go ahead.
One, I just want to let you know it's starting to storm and thunder here. So if I lose power, I do apologize. And second, we have in the chat, Melise is asking, when are you going to share the script? I'm assuming they mean today's script.
Yeah, this one, depending on when we finish it off, I'll put it as the first comment in the chat. That's what I normally do on the streams where there is a script to share. I put it as the first comment, usually about sometime after the stream, usually within a day, 20 minutes to a day.
Thank you for that question.
All right, so we upgraded this to version 6, so I'm going to copy this code and go put it into our strategy.
Can you make the text up just a little bit bigger?
Right.
Thanks.
I'm going to remove the header information, but I'm going to mark what it is. So I'm grabbing the indicator name, removing the other information, and then naming it this way. Okay, so if I save this, it should show up on the chart as, there we go. So we have Algo Alpha there. We don't need you anymore. Then we're going to go to Volumetric, sorry. I'm going to go ahead into the code. It's already version 6. Fantastic. Copy it all, head back over to my script. And we'll put it at the bottom. All right. So this one will be Volumetric Variable Index Dynamic Range from Big Beluga. Baby Beluga in the deep blue sea. When you have children, all your songs change from Backstreet Boys and 98 Degrees to Danny Go and Bluey.
98 Degrees. Name a song from 98 Degrees.
It's the hardest thing I ever had to
Okay,
do.
no.
To turn around and walk away. I have to stop. We're going
I
to get a
regret
copyright strike.
I regret
Too good.
Yeah, you're too good. I couldn't name a 98 Degree song if my life depended on it.
Why? Do you not have a heart?
I don't think I ever listened to 98 Degrees. I listened more to
Michelle Branch.
who sang My Liquid Dreams. What was that?
I don't know.
I
Liquid
See a
Dreams, you just
Girl.
made that up.
No, remember
It's
the
not even
reality TV show where?
No, you're making that up.
Yeah, there was a reality TV show where they
Don't
made
push
a
your
boy
album,
band.
Peter. Don't push your Spotify album here.
I see a girl
so we
with
have the next
eyes
one
of-
in here. Volumetric Vidya. If you guys know what that song is, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, guys.
Adventure says go Tom. No, don't encourage it. Don't encourage it.
All right, so we all right, so we have Volumetric there. Let's move on to the next one. All right, what we wanted was the Mac D crossover. So we'll grab that code. Okay, actually, before we do that, you're a version 4. Ooh, bad version 4. Create a working copy, save the script, and we're going to convert it to V6. Well, first to V5. Apply. And V6. I remember before they had this convert thing and you had to do it all by hand. God, that was annoying. Should be called in every function for consistency. Okay, this is going to be a problem here, but let's just leave it like that for now. See if it loads the same way. So I'm going to go here to the other chart, click there, add to chart. Let's see if the same values are showing. Can I call TA value when the argument condition fractal top? An argument of series float type was used, but series bool is expected. All right, let's see there. That'll be online. Oh, where's the line?
O-Town.
Okay, well, O-Town, yeah. Oh my God, that's the Making Them band. That's the original Cat's Eye.
Thank you, Mel.
All right, so I'm just going to use AI here to fix the errors in the script while we work on the other stuff. So I'm going to cursor right now. If you guys seen past episodes, you know that I like using Claude code in order to make my life easier. I like it way better than Cursor. Although Cursor are making updates and strides and new features that make me want to come back into the fold, but
really,
I don't know.
It depends. If
Not
Grok 4 coding comes to Cursor, I might have to do it. Grok 4 might be the best model out right now. Remains to be seen,
Are you
It
seeing
might
the
be.
metrics that are out there for Grok 4?
Well, benchmarks. We'll see how it actually works. Because Claude Code is not the best model, but it is the best for coding, or at least really good for it.
Right.
O3, I don't get it. Just for coding, it doesn't work well for me.
So I'm telling Claude here I have an error inside of the script. I didn't do the whole thing where I give it like all the documentation and whatever for Pine. Let's see if we can fix it here. TA value when. Argument condition fractal top. Now I can see where float was used, but bool is expected. Oh, right. They did make that change. So fractalize here, this function is outputting another function, top fractal, which is a... Wait, this is a Boolean variable. Source is above, below, and above, below, and above, below, and above, below. Oh, fractal is returning -1 or 0.
All right. So in the spirit of making this more educational, what are you doing?
All right. So when I upgraded the script from 4 to 6, there's a way you can do comparisons between variables within PineScript 4 that you can't do within 6. It's stricter in 6. So it's saying here that on this line where we see TA value when, which is a function within PineScript that basically says, hey, go find me the value of the value of source when this condition is true. So the last time this thing was true, go find me the value of the source. It's a look back function. But here, condition, it's expecting condition to be a Boolean value, so either true or false. But on previous versions, true or 0, 1, and -1 could also resolve to true or false. You sort of like, it was a lazy resolution you can do. But since version 6, it's stricter and you actually have to pass the right value. So inside of when I'm telling AI this, it's telling me, hey, let me update this so that it is checking to see if the value exists as opposed to if it's 0, -1, or 1. So let's see if this actually fixes the problem. It might. All right, so we see here the values. So we're on the same chart, and the value for right now is okay. So we see on the scale, the values are exactly the same. So, and when I look at this, I can eyeball it. It looks the same. The only difference is that we have this background color that's too freaking garish, and that's because of how the transparency works in version 6 versus version 4. So I'm just going to do a look for background color. And probably the transparency needs to be adjusted. How many background colors are there? It's only 2. So here, where is this color? Rojo? Rojo? Does rojo mean red?
I'm pretty sure it means red in Spanish.
Okay, so let's lower this opacity.
Creo que sí, pero no sé.
Creo que sí. Okay, there we go. Let's lower it even more. Perfect. So red is lowered. That means we're also going to need, what's the other color? Oh, it's all red. Okay, so now when we look at this, it's pretty much the same. Good. So we have our MACD that's there. Now we just have these 2 to deal with. We have the algo trend reversal, but we only really want the reverse probability. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our script. Oh, wait, I forgot to add this in. Okay, so we made our MACD, double MACD, and we converted it to version 6. We know it's working, but we still got to toss that into our main script. So I'm grabbing the code from that one, and I'm going to our main script. And before I do anything, when you want your script to be able to target drawings on the main chart and in the pane, you have to first make the script change an overlay true. You have to change that to false so that it shows in a pane. So if we do this right now, and then we add this back to the chart, we'll see that all the drawings that we're normally seeing on the chart will be squished to the bottom. So here, I'll just show you. So now we have our pane down here, but none of our drawings are shown on the chart. They're all down here. But we have to tell the system that we want them all to appear at the top. So for that, there's a new attribute that exists in version 6 called forceOverlay. And so we're going to go through the script. And wherever we have a plot, we're going to add forceOverlay true. So we'll do that there, here, here for our plots. Fills we don't have to do because it'll follow the plot. Plot shape, we'll add forceOverlay true, and again in all these places. Plot character, forceOverlay true, forceOverlay true. Table, we want that also to be at the top, so table new.
Can't you just write a script or something that automatically put that after the plot line?
No, because they're not all written in the right way, have the right thing I could like find and replace. It'll take longer than just copying and pasting it. I could ask AI to do it, but even there it might mess up and I have to give it the documentation for it. If the script was, 3,000 lines long, I would do that. But since it's not, we'll just do it by hand.
Right.
We also have to do it for all the lines. Set line, liquidity. Oh, can I not do it here? Line. This is an array for lines. Oh, there it is. Line new. Line new. Line new. For our labels. Okay, label again. I'm not sure if we've said it so far. Very much appreciate Adventura when you come by. It's always fun to have you inside of the chat.
100%. I call him our number one fan. I think he definitely is. I don't know the hearts and minds of everyone who watches, but if you count it by who shows up, 100%.
Right. Too many arguments past the label delete. Oh, is that label delete? What? Label.new. Oh, I see. We don't need you. You are in the wrong spot.
It's because there should only be one argument, but there's two.
That's very funny. That's very funny. I don't like when you pretend to know stuff, Peter.
Pretend?
So please stop doing that.
No. I'm teaching my daughter to teach her sarcasm. Sarcasm? Me? No. Really? And she's just like, what? Oh, this is fun.
All right, we still have one label there. I think it's this guy. Label, string by, blah, 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 blah. Color, style, text color here. So this red and blue should move to the top. Okay, we're still missing one. Is that a label or a plot? Plot shape, plot shape. Oh, did we not do the one down here?
Doesn't look like.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an Peter.
Oversight.
Do you concur?
I concur.
Do you concur?
I do concur.
I do concur. All right, so they're all on top there. I don't see any drawings at the bottom. Now I can go ahead. So you guys see over here on the right side, I moved all those indicators back to the main chart, and my one down here is empty. So now I can go ahead and paste my MACD, my double MACD here. Okay, double MACD. Double MACD. And then these guys, we won't modify their force overlay attributes. There are errors here. Why are there? Oh, because this is why you name space your variables. This is why you name your variables so it's specific to your script. Because now that we have length, source, multiple, that are all the same sort of thing that exists elsewhere in the script, we have this conflict. You make it very difficult, indicator creators, when you make things not easy for me to copy. Still for my own purposes. So here I'm just going to call it double MACD, DM. By the way, that's what I want you to call me from now on. I want you to call me DM. So,
DM?
write that down. Yeah, write that down.
Why DM and not MACD?
Because I want to be double MACD.
I prefer a quarter MACD with cheese.
That's terrible.
But
God, that's terrible.
But
I hurt so badly. All right, source. On the stream today, I was telling whenever you're mentioned, I do like to dunk on you a bit. And I thought I was doing it very tame-like for the stream. Mike was like, "Tommy, you're so harsh on Peter. The sibling rivalry is so fun." And I forget, I had to tell the story that whenever you're around,
right,
or whenever I've recently talked to you, my wife has to be like, "Why are you being so mean to me?" I'm like, "All right, I was just talking to Peter." You guys don't have years and years and decades of me just pummeling you and him pummeling me, where I don't even feel it anymore. All right, so here I'm adding DM underscore to the variables that I had an error on, because those same variables exist earlier on in some other script above. Obviously, the best way of going about this is to namespace every single one. Like, I should go into the script, and before I copy and paste it in here, I should ask AI or manually do it, add a some sort of prefix or a suffix to everything, so that I know that that variable has to do with that particular indicator. But I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so those are modified. I think the errors are done. I don't see any red here. What we should see is for the double MACD to appear at the bottom of the screen. Nope, we have an error. Script, has too many plots, too many things drawn on the chart. We can only have a maximum of 64. I did not think we were going to hit that limit today. Okay, so that means we have to remove a bunch of plots. So
did you just remove them from an earlier time period, like the start of the year? I don't know, how far back do these plots?
No, it's not far back. It's just how many. Like, so on right now on the script, on the Algo and Volumetric, if we take a look at the right, we'll see here that's each one of these is its own plot. But because we've been adding all of these to one script, there's now a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So for the MACD, if I remember correctly on the video, we just needed the we only needed the 2 lines. Let me just expand this. Yeah, we didn't need all that other stuff. So in our MACD, and I'm going to hurry up here. Actually, I hate rushing for these things. We're not going to rush. All right, so what counts as a plot output series? So every time we use like a plot, every time we use a color, every time we're doing that, it counts as an output series. So let's hide. How many are we over? We're over by 79. Okay, that's a lot. Oh, but I think is there a plot candle? No plot char. Okay, let me just double check instead of the logs what counts as an output series. I forget exactly what it is. All right, Peter, just hide my screen for a second. I'm going to check on here. Should I have music now playing, Peter? No, like they have on the.
Actually, music would be cool for Blueprint, but we do have the mid-roll, just so you know.
All right, you can show my screen now. The script creates too many plots. Know that plot functions can create more than one plot. Okay, so we just have to hide some of these guys. So let's just do this quickly. So I'm going to get to the fun stuff. Let's hide you. Hide you. Let's hide these two. If we do that, how many plots do we have?
Place your bets, place your bets. I say we have 62.
Actually, we won't even add in Algo and QQE because we're going to run out of plots. 71. There's too many of them. Too many of them. Let's hide you. All right. So on the main one, on the main ones that we had before, what are the plots that we needed? So we just need really the signals. So here we had plots for the zero lag basis, upper deviation, lower deviation. We don't need all those, right? We just needed the bullish and bearish trend, bullish entry and bearish entry. Okay, so we don't need zero lag basis or bands. Let's go back to you. Basis or bands. As the French say, on n'a pas besoin de toi. Which is not necessary for me to say, but I like to let people know that I do speak French.
We don't need you. That's what it says. On n'a pas besoin de toi. That's what it means. A lot of people can speak French, Tom.
When you spoil it. Yeah, but the people who can't, especially Americans, it'll make me feel special.
You can't really feel special because they are Americans. They're just technically better people.
You know, I was telling Mike that it might be best if we replace you with a rock or a duck. Okay. All right. So since it is, we're getting close to the wire, let's leave it like this. Let's see if we could create a strategy just from what we have here right now. All right. Because we're going to start adding other output series and it's going to be a problem. So I was let's take a look at the traded day today because I got into this trade and I got wrecked here. I did call this bounce off the bottom. I got to say, I did call this bounce off the bottom. Go take a look at the live stream from today for Price Action Live. Why? Because we're your pals.
No.
And you'll see me calling the wick at the bottom over here. So what we'll do, I like this. This is a good place to enter. This is a good place to, does it give me the end of it? I'm trying to see a pattern here, Peter. I'm trying to see a pattern here. These entries on the open. Okay, but this one was this entry at the open, but then it was a sideways market. Okay, so let's try to filter these guys.
Can't you just take a screenshot, put it into AI, and ask it to see if there's a pattern?
No, that's more. It won't be able to tell bar by bar. Right. It's too difficult. And the more data I give it, the smaller the bars are. It'll just be too difficult. So what we're going to try to do is let's see if we can filter some of these. And we're not going to rush this. I actually like this prop firm video, so we're going to continue next week if we need to. But here, what I want to see is if we can filter these signals so that the bearish ones only appear when we are in the red and the bullish ones only appear when we're in the green. Let's see if that makes any difference. Let's go take a look at previous ones. So over here we have a red, but we're also in the red. Here we have another red, and we're also just about to be in the red. Here we have a green, and we're in the green. Okay, so that's not going to filter that. let's see here. Okay, so we are going to create trades. Let's create a trade whenever either one of these guys are red or green. Let's just go ahead and do that. Head down to the bottom. Okay, so while I initially set this up, let's go ahead and play our next ad.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. Traders Post lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, Tradeovate, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, adding more strategies, plugging into prop firm accounts, or juggling multiple portfolios, Traders Posts handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at traderspost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
So I'm headed here, put in the script into Cursor, because that'll just be easier. And we're going to say when we're looking for a signal, when bearish trend, or so for buy, when bullish trend, which is these big green markers here, and when trend up, or when trend up occurs, let's go ahead and buy. So bearish trend, where's bearish trend? All right, bearish trend is over here. So that's TA crossover. So this will be bearish and that's bullish. All right, I'm just creating simple buy and sell strategies for these guys. Enter buy when buy fires, sell when it sells. And let us do, and is there any place for exiting? So if we were to buy here, where do we want to exit? Let's exit when the MACD crosses lower, or maybe when the MACD, how about this? When the MACD, the yellow crosses the gray, we'll consider that an exit. So if we were to enter here, when the MACD crosses the gray, yeah, let's do that. So the MACD yellow crosses the gray. So yellow here is 1226, and sorry, the yellow is, I'm looking at the bottom right over here. The MACD yellow is 515, and the 1226 is the gray. So if 515, MACD 515 is these guys. Why are there two of them? Oh, one's a line, one's a histogram. Interesting. And the other one is, this is the yellow, and that's the gray. So when the yellow crosses the gray, when 2 crosses 1, if TA yellow crosses down, yeah, crosses under, then I want to, oh, and strategy position size is over 0. So if we're in a position, we want to go ahead and close buy. And then we want the same thing for sell. If MACD crosses, the 2 crosses over the 1, let's do, yeah. Then we want to go ahead and sell. Let's see what this looks like. This is the fun part, Peter. It's the fun part where we get to see what the strategy actually looks like. Okay, so we have trades happening here. We have sell trade that happened here, and it closed over here. And we had a buy trade that happened here and closed over here. Ooh, a little too early. Let's see what the results are. And we are not as bad as it could be. It's basically flat. We have a 41% profitability, profit factor less than 1, and minimal drawdown. So let's go ahead and see if we can improve that a bit. But I want this to say something different, so we'll say this. We'll call this close. Okay. So what we're taking a look at here is to see if the entries are good or if the exits are good and if any of them need to be modified. So let's see here. All right. If you guys like what you're seeing, please feel free to like and subscribe. We take cues from you guys, from what you like, to see what we can create. All right, we're gonna sell. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions, anything that you want to see, what we've been doing now, what Tom has been doing is looking for YouTube videos that talk about indicators and finding ways to create them, juice them up, or something like that. So if there's something you want us to take a look at, that would be helpful. But just liking the video lets us know, hey, I like this versus something else that didn't get the likes. We do less of that. So your likes fuel the content here. If you want to participate and be interactive, you're absolutely welcome. But even if you don't, very much appreciate your attention. Your eyeballs are doing us a great service.
All right, so these are all winning trades here. This was a winning one. This was a winning. Let's just take a look at the losers. So here it's shorted, but it's shorted. This is at 3:15, and it's shorted. All right, so we got a sell signal over here, but let's see if maybe we need to adjust these figures. So I'm going to go into the settings and see if there's any settings to change here.
Fibonacci, just Fibonacci.
All right, so if we bring this down to 20, worse, 90, better. Actually, if we do it that way, it's going to be problematic. I don't like guessing in that way. I just wanted to see if that would actually change stuff. All right, so let's just see here. So we had a buy here, and it closed. But it closed too early. We could have held this all the way to here. All right, and over here we have our sell, and it happened late. Our sell happened late here, Peter. So I think maybe our sell signals have to be, can they be while the yellow is still over the red? So let's take a look over here. Our sell signal over here, I want the bar before for it to still be yellow. Our sell before. Yeah, so you see over here just happened too quickly, too late. Let's go look at a previous one. Sell signal here. This is happening too late. Whereas this would have been the better one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say when this other one, when the there's a trend up and trend down. So that was already trend up and trend down. Let me just take a look. Okay, bearish trend, but then there's another one called trend up, and that is series trend up, the previous one. Okay, if this is up, it's considered up, and the other one's down. So I'm going to say if this happens or this happens, and then the other one. So basically, it'll be someone activated my Siri. Interesting. Me talking activated my Siri on my phone. So here what I did is that for my buy and sell, I am right now we were just using one of the sell signals for whether we should sell or not. But I'm going to say one or the other. So basically either the big red or the small red, whichever one fires, there we'll go ahead and take the trade. And let's see if this changes our metrics.
We have a question in chat from Shobit Saini, who asked the same question that was asked earlier, but maybe people came in later and they don't know this. Tom, the question is, awesome, thanks. How can I get this script?
Yeah, I'm going to be posting the script as is, as the first comment of this video. So you can check it out there. I'll also be posting it inside of the Traders Post Discord channel. But give it 20 minutes after the stream ends, and the script, as it is right now, will be available as the first comment on this video. We did get better results over here, slightly better results by switching it that way. But I'm feeling that we're taking too many trades. So over here, let's go to the beginning. Okay. Well, this is fun. We're going to pause it here. So just notice the time. We're going to be back next Thursday. And we're going to continue this because I think people are interested in prop firm strategies of getting things running. And I'm looking forward to like getting it running, and then I'll try it myself on one of the live streams, the price action live streams that happen Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9:30 to 10:30 on Traders Post. I'll put my own prop firm account behind it and see how that goes because I think that'll be fun. But if you guys like, the more you participate, the more you join in, the more things we can create and the more stuff we can put out to you. And who knows, we might bang on a strategy that's super profitable and you'll have it gratos, free, pour rien.
No promises.
Absolutely not. This is fun. Thank you guys very much for watching Blueprint today at Thursday. We're going to be back next Thursday at 3 o'clock. We'll be here tomorrow for our market commentary show on After Hours at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, on Tuesdays, we're here for office hours, going through all things Traders Post, all things automated trading, because it's a growing industry, Peter. It's getting bigger and better by the day.
So will there be a script today posted in the comments or what?
Yeah, I'll post the script as it is, as the first comment of this video. You guys could check it out. And it'll be public, open source, free. And if you guys want to turn it into something better, go for it. But I'll continue working on it next week.
And then there'll be an update to that script.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It's fun. All right. Thanks, Shobit. Thanks, Aventura. Thanks, everybody. And we'll be back next time. Happy trading.